Good morning, or just barely afternoon, gentle people of the internet. Today is for Thursday, February 21st, and I'm back making another video. Today, I think I'm just gonna make, well, I think it'll just be a short video. We'll see though. Today I want to talk about garbage, believe it or not. Garbage is not something we usually think about. Unless our job is related to it, I guess. Um, but garbage is very, very interesting. It's Garbage is a waste product of all the processes that happen in our day-to-day lives, and in fact, the waste product of everything, all human processes, whether industrial or biological or agricultural or whatever. Garbage is everything that we don't want at the end of our use of whatever it is we're talking about. Um, a lot of garbage is packaging, here in the United States anyway. Um, we transport a good in a package that, protects it during transport or keeps it fresh until the consumer opens it, or um, simply contains it, like a jug of milk. You can't just transport milk without a container. It's got to be in something. Um, and in our culture, anyway, the vast majority of this packaging is disposable. In other words, it is not intended to be reused, and often it can't be reused. By opening it, you've destroyed the package, and it's no longer useful. Um, let's see, a lot of garbage is, like just human waste, I guess, and that generally goes into a different waste stream than other garbage does. That's, more related to septic systems and water treatment and things of that sort. Um, let's see, there's other kinds of garbage, I guess, food waste. Um, generally speaking, food waste can be decomposed and returned into the ecosystem if we do so. I think a lot of times it doesn't. It goes into the same waste stream as packaging and things of that sort. Um, so I mean, garbage has got a lot of aspects to it. Where it comes from, why it's garbage. Is it because it's no longer useful? Is it because we just don't want it anymore? Is it because it's obsolete? Is it because it's... Who knows? There's lots of reasons for garbage to become garbage. There's lots of different kinds of garbage. Garbage gets disposed of in different ways, depending on what it is, and also where in the world you are. I'm coming from an American point of view, so that's kind of what I'll be talking about. But amongst all the interesting things about garbage, today I just wanted to talk about how much garbage there is. Now there are probably, I haven't done an extensive Google search, to find out what other people's estimates are of how much garbage there is in the world, how much we produce. But I just wanted to do a back of the envelope calculation to see, get kind of an order of magnitude idea of how much garbage there is in the world. And, it'd be interesting to see if it's a high number or a low number compared to what I would expect. How does this number feel? So I started just with a personal estimate. In our household, we produce about, I would say, one grocery bag, paper grocery bag worth of garbage a week. Sometimes less, sometimes more, depending on what's going on. But I'd say that's maybe on average, that's probably a little bit high, actually, of an estimate. However, based on looking out the window and seeing what my neighbors do and how big their garbage cans are and how full they are when the garbage man comes along, I'm guessing that overall, at least in the American culture, this is a gross underestimate. There are only two people in my household, so that makes the difference. Obviously, we don't have 3 kids and 2 dogs, and so I'm using that as my base estimate, and then I'm estimating the size of a grocery bag on the big size. I'm saying it's a cubic meter, which actually is way bigger than one grocery bag, but I still think this is maybe a low end estimate of overall garbage production in the United States. So I'm saying 1 cubic meter of garbage per week per household in the United States. I found a number for the number of households in the U.S. It's 114 million, and so on. So if I just multiply that out, that means that we have, multiply by 1, not hard, 114 million cubic meters of garbage produced every week, just in the United States. To give you an idea of what that is a cube of garbage, 485 meters on a side, so half a kilometer per side. That's a big cube. Let's convert that to feet. Let's see, or what did I say? What was the number I was using? Meters. Yeah. So that's 1,500, almost 1,600 feet per side, this cube, which is, roughly a quarter of a mile on a side. So in the United States, we're producing this, quarter mile sided cube of garbage every week. That's a lot of garbage, but it's not, for the entire United States, doesn't strike me as that much. That surprised me. That seems like a low number. I was expecting a much bigger number. So if we multiply that out for a year, that cube is then 1,800 meters on the side, which if we multiply that out, we would get roughly almost a mile per side, I think. I guess I can get a more exact number. That comes out to actually just over a mile. So in 1 year in the United States, we produce a cubic mile, more than a cubic mile of garbage per year. Now that's a big pile of garbage. If we think about that, a mile high, that's far, far higher than our tallest building. The Empire State Building is about 1,400 feet tall. So we're talking about a pile of garbage that's like 3 times plus the size of the Empire State Building in height, and extending in every direction that same amount. That's a big pile of garbage. But still, that's for the whole country in a whole year. So that still seems kind of low to me. Just gut feeling. I was expecting it to be more. Then I took, okay, let's normalize this per person. So there's about 314 million people in the United States. So divide that out, we get about 0.366 cubic meters of garbage per person per week. And remember, these aren't exact numbers. These are just sort of, I started from just a observational assumption of how much garbage per person, per household, based on my own experience. So take these numbers with a grain of salt, but I think they'll at least give us an order of magnitude. So 0.366 cubic meters of garbage per person per week in the United States. Now, I'm going to assume that rate applies globally now. I'm guessing that that's not true in reality. My intuition tells me that the United States produces far more garbage per person than a lot of other countries. Now that might not be true, but that's kind of what my gut tells me, Certainly some countries, absolutely this would be true. Say, I don't know, less technological societies, less mechanized societies, more agrarian-based societies, I'm guessing produce a lot less garbage. But first world, I would think it'd be pretty close to the same across the globe. In any case, I'm just going to assume a steady rate globally per person and use that number that I derived from the U.S. Because I used a low estimate for garbage per person per week, or garbage per household per week, I'm going to say that, that was a low estimate, so I think it's going to kind of balance out. Anyway, let's see what the numbers say. So let's assume that rate globally, 0.366 cubic meters per person per week. We have about 6.9 billion people in the world, global population. So that gives us about 2.5 billion cubic meters of garbage per week. That's a cube 1,366 meters per side every week. So that's again roughly a mile, a cubic mile every week. Per year, that comes out to a cube 5,100 meters per side. To give you an idea what that is, that's 3.16 miles per side. So a 3-mile edge length cube. So that's total garbage production globally for 1 year. So that would be 27 cubic miles of garbage. So side length in feet, that'd be 16,000 feet, a little more. So a cube, 16,000 feet on a side. Let's put that into perspective. 16,000 feet per side. Well, the Empire State Building is only 1,400 feet tall. So we're talking, 12, 13 times the height of the Empire State Building. Mount Everest, the elevation change from base camp to the peak of Everest is 11,000 feet. So we're talking about not quite double the height of Mount Everest from the base camp of garbage. Grand Canyon is a depth of about 6,000 feet at its deepest, I believe. So we're talking about, almost 3 times higher than the depth of the Grand Canyon. That's a lot of garbage. I mean, if you picture it that way. Now, of course, there are assumptions made in calculating these rates. We're also assuming that none of this garbage is recycled or composted or compressed, for that matter, because a lot of garbage is bulky. It's got a lot of air in it, and it can be smashed. So of course I'm kind of ignoring that just to get a rough idea here. This still feels like a small number to me for 6 billion people. Yeah, I mean, this sort of it indicates, I guess, in one sense, it indicates how big the Earth really is. That we can produce all this garbage and get something, a cube of garbage in a year, 3 miles on a side. Well, 3 miles is not very much. It's big compared to a person. It might take you an hour to walk 3 miles. So, we could say to walk around this cube all the way around back to where you started, it would take you 4 hours, roughly. So that is most definitely a huge pile. But, the Earth, what is the circumference of the Earth? Circumference of the Earth is 24,000 miles. So 3 miles, that doesn't sound so much, but how many years would it take to put these cubes all the way around the entire equator? We got our 24,901 miles divided by 3.16. So that's a big number. It would take 7,880 years at the current levels to put those cubic, piles of garbage all the way around the equator of the Earth. Almost 8,000 years. the Earth is a big place. It's very, very big. Sometimes we forget that, I think, just how vast the Earth really is. So I don't have any agenda with this calculation. I'm not trying to make an environmentalist point. I'm not trying to make an anti-environmentalist point. I just thought it would be interesting to actually run through a calculation and see how the numbers come out, see how I felt about it, compare it to what my gut instinct would have been. And I'm finding that these numbers, at least, are coming out much lower than my gut told me they would. So that's interesting. Very interesting. I guess I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm at about 16 minutes. So we'll just leave that there. But I was thinking about that. Thought I would do some calculations and share it with everybody. I thought that was kind of a fun exercise. Before I go, I guess I can let everybody know that I did update the channel to my, my real name. The Google profile has been bugging me to do that for a while. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I have no idea, but I was sick of being bugged, so I did it. Not maybe the best reason to do so, but we'll give that a try. As I think about it more, I may revert it back to some other name, maybe give the channel actually its own branding, possibly, if these continue along and are interesting to anybody. Anyway, I guess that's that. So I hope everybody has a great Thursday and is looking forward to the weekend ahead. I should be back tomorrow, Friday, for another video. I think that's all I have. So everybody have a great Thursday, and I will be back tomorrow. So see you then.